You know, this is our show and everything. All right. You were Henry Brown's chief of staff, so there's one thing we really want to know. Did you keep a fire extinguisher in your vehicle? What we really want to know is, in an atmosphere of anti-incumbency, do you consider being Henry Brown's chief of staff a liability or an advantage?
Oh, I think it's a huge advantage. I think it would have been a liability if I had left Henry Brown's office and gone to work on K Street as a lobbyist. But I think it's a huge advantage.
Now, right there, why didn't you become a lobbyist? Because, to my understanding, there is a lot of money for that kind. There's a lot of demand for that in Washington. So why didn't you become a lobbyist and make the big checks?
Because I didn't want to. I didn't think it was the right thing to do. It's not what I wanted to do. I had an opportunity to come down and work at a small Christian school, Charleston Southern, which has a great mission, and I loved working there. Also, I was sick of Washington, D.C., and I could come back to South Carolina.
Well, being sick of Washington, D.C., I mean, how are...
Why am I doing what I'm doing?
Sure, absolutely. The question leads right into itself. So.
It's sounds a little self-serving, but it's duty. I served my country as an officer in the United States Army. I felt like that, again, as I looked at what was going on into Washington, I felt like I could make a contribution from day one as soon as I got up there. Like I say, the difference is the other candidates and I, we all agree on what needs to be done. There may be a little differences here and there, but frankly, I believe I can be effective as soon as I get there.
All right. Going into your military background a little bit, a lot of us here in Charleston have military families. We're big supporters of the military in this town. Do you change our current approach to the war on terror, and how do you define victory in the war?
It's a good question. In fact, you in the military?
Yes, sir.
What branch? No, okay. Sorry about that. We're going to tell war stories here we go. The definition of victory has made it. That's an interesting thing because we now have what's called third-generation warfare, asymmetrical warfare, which is difficult to get a handle on it. It was a lot easier back in the old days when we knew exactly who the bad guys were. We took Berlin, we took Tokyo, and the war was over. We have a much more difficult situation right now as far as determining victory. Victory is when the United States can go about its business without fear of somebody flying airplanes into buildings, the Trade Center. So what we have to do is change the dynamics of that. Not all of that is done by military power. There are other things that have to be done and what is attempting to be done in Afghanistan and Iraq. So I think what it is, that is the explanation of victory. And the way we go about the war on terror, I think we're in the process of doing it about right, but it is something like, you can put a plan together, as soon as the first bullet's fired, the plan goes away, and you're going to have to make adjustments on that. And I think slowly but surely, and we've done some things that, looking back, Monday morning quarterbacking have not been right, both in the war against Islamic radicalism, and that's exactly what we're fighting. It's not really a war on terror. There's a specific group of people that we're fighting here, and that may be one of the things we need to do when we start talking about the war. So,
okay.
All right.
All right. Now, how do you use your knowledge, shifting gears a little bit and kind of taking it back to this local race, how do you use your knowledge of the inner workings of Congress to help the 1st Congressional District? I mean, basically what we're asking is, what have you done for us lately?
Well, the first thing I think you're going to have, or what I would like to do, is there are really major issues here, and they've been talked about. Spending is out of control. So a lot of the things that I need to do is not just for the 1st Congressional District. There are major issues that we have to approach on spending, on the role of the federal government, and all those things. Now, are you want to talk about the port? You want to talk about...
I want to know, we've been very national in our focus so far. I want you to kind of give us some specifics, whatever specifics you can, about what you're going to do for the 1st Congressional.
All right. There are a couple of things that is specific to the 1st Congressional District that I think we need to focus in on. Transportation needs and infrastructure needs, and then also national defense. We have lots of military organizations here. So the two committees I'd like to get on when I go to Washington is Armed Services. I think I'll be able to do that. As y'all may know, we're down now to approximately 20% of the members of Congress who have any military experience. We do have 36% lawyers, though. So, no, sorry, Larry. So Armed Services and transportation needs. So I think having somebody from the 1st Congressional District, as you look at what's going on in the military, I don't believe we need to have bases that don't serve a purpose, but I do think you need somebody taking a look at that, looking at the administration and what they're going to do. The transportation issues, the three big issues I see as far as the district are port dredging in Charleston, port dredging in Georgetown, and I-73 for Horry County. And all three of those, I will work extremely hard to make sure we have the funds available to do those kind of things. I don't think there's some other things that we've done that I approve of. I think that anything that I'm going to do for the district has to be something that is a federal responsibility. So.
All right, and our last question, we have about 30 seconds. Do you consider the fair tax progressive since it would place taxes on people who currently don't pay any?
Well, I am supportive of the fair tax, and I think it's a great. Yeah, right. Thank you. Yeah. I do not. I think it is progressive. I think it is a fair tax. I think it is the way it needs to be going. It will do